Hi everyone, welcome back to the Code Street, and in today's video we will be discussing yet another important aspect that we will be needing ahead in the entire problem solving section, and that is functions. We will be learning about functions in today's video, and yeah, it is one of the very important aspects which we will be needing because as we move on ahead in the case of problem solving we will be encountering more difficult problems, and as the length of the problem increases, so the length of the solution will definitely increase, and that is where we will be needing the concept of functions so that we can divide the entire problem into a number of smaller modules, and we can simplify it and enhance the quality of the code by using reusability features. So functions hote kya hai, how are they supposed to be used, what is the entire concept behind it, that is something that we will be learning in this entire video. And yeah, before that let us know a bit more about Newton School, जिनके साथ ये वीडियो कोलैबोरेशन में बनी हुई है. So Newton School is an edtech platform which guarantees you 100% placement, and they are doing it by charging you rupees 0 as a fee until and unless you are getting placed with a minimum package of 5 lakhs per annum. Newton School is working with a lot of really great companies. Some of these companies can be easily found out by going onto their platform newtonschool.co. Newton School also teaches you a lot of number of great courses like aimed at full stack development, and courses designed specifically for women, courses which are designed for experienced professionals. Like all these different courses are there which you can do from Newton School. And in the recent times, Newton School has also started the Launchpad platform, in which if you want to learn anything, be it a completely new programming language or a completely new tech stack or backend database structures, OOPS, concept of OOPS, or Node.js, React.js, whatever you want to learn, you can learn it for completely free of cost. And all you have to do is just enroll yourself in one of these courses. You will earn a course completion certificate after doing the entire course. And in the midst of all this, if you feel the need to do anything related to coding, you can go on to Newton School's own playground where you can do all the coding related stuff as we have done in the previous videos as well. तो आज की वीडियो में we will be focusing on functions. So let us begin with today's video first and try to understand what actually goes on when we are talking about functions. So today's topic is functions. So basically, what do we mean when we say functions, right? So functions basically help us divide the program into a number of modules. Okay. So functions do help us in dividing the entire program into a number of modules. Just for example, consider that I give you a syllabus of around 120 pages to do it. Okay, I tell you that you do and complete a syllabus of around 120 pages. And what if I tell you that you divide this 120 page into several smaller sections of 30 pages each and divide it into 4 modules? Okay, then it will be looking a bit more feasible to you, right? So this is what functions does. It divides an entire program module into several smaller sections and enhances the quality of the code, and it also ensures the reusability feature of the program. So the second thing which it does is that it ensures readability and reusability. Okay, now how is it possible? देखो, if I tell you that write a program to calculate the sum of natural numbers from 1 to 100 and odd numbers from 101 to 200, right? Sum of natural numbers from 1 to 100 and odd numbers from 101 to 200. Okay, both of these require the feature sum, right? So what if I calculate the sum in one function? I calculated the sum here, okay, and then in another function function 1, I implemented the for loop and called the sum, क्योंकि sum तो same रहेगी ना. और जो second function है 101 से लेके 200 तक, again I called the for loop and implemented the sum function. Because मुझे बार बार sum calculate करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी ना इससे, because sum is something which is calculated in the same way. A plus b remains a plus b if it is calculated for the first 10 numbers, if it is calculated for 2 numbers, if it is calculated for 10,000 numbers. Addition is done in the same way, a plus b, and then so on and so forth. So sum is something which remains constant. It can be reused again and again in different parts of the program. So unnecessarily, if I write it once again in the different part of the program, that will do nothing but increase the length of the program and make it look clumsy, right? So that is why this is something which we call reusability feature, and it also enhances the readability, because now I can read my program in a much better way, because अब वो अच्छा लग रहा है देखने में, उतना clumsy नहीं लग रहा है. Okay, so this is what function allows me to do. Now how am I able to do it? That is something which we will now understand. Okay, so now how are we supposed to do it? For example, if we now write something like this, see, when we include hash include iostream, and after that instead of int main we start off with the main function, right? Main function says straight away we start off. Instead of that main function, if I write a function like see void intro, like this is the intro to the functions, so void intro, this is my first function, and within this function I'm very simply writing a very simple output statement, hello everybody. Okay, done. Now what is this void? अब पूछोगे भैया ये void क्या होता है? We used to write int main, but this is void. So see, void is an indicator that this function will not return me any value when it is implemented as it is in this function. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि ये जो function है ना, ये function अभी मैं सिर्फ इतना ही अगर लिख दूं तो इस function का मुझे कोई output नहीं मिलेगा, ठीक है, क्योंकि मैंने इसकी return type जो है वो void कर दिया. void मतलब होता है null, no output, ठीक है. ये void जो है it ensures that this as a function will not give me any output. But if I now write the main function, if I now write the main function and I call this intro function within it, मुझे मेरी output मिल जाएगी. Now I will get the output as hello everybody. आ रही है बात समझ में? This will be out, not without the quotes of course, like hello everybody will be my output. आ रही बात समझ में? Now why is it so? And in this case see, int is the return type, and what is return 0 in this case? You will be asking like what is return 0? We have already discussed this in the previous videos as well. Return 0 क्या होता है? Return 0 is actually an indicator of a successful execution of the program. Like return 0 helps us to understand that the program has been successfully executed. Okay, otherwise अगर कोई segmentation fault हुआ ना program में, in case of segmentation fault the value will not be equals to 0, and return 0 here helps us to understand that there is actually an existence of the segmentation fault in the program or not. That is why we need to write return 0 in this case. ठीक है, प्रोग्राम में इसीलिए हम return 0 लिखते हैं क्योंकि it helps us to understand if program has been successfully executed or not, because in the case of segmentation fault value is not equals to 0. समझ में आई बात? That is one of the very primary main reasons. Like this can be asked anywhere, क्यों return 0 लिखता है? It is a very important question, तो you have to understand why is it so. तो ये हुआ हमारा functions का concept. तो let us first implement this portion and then we shall go about with another example as well. Okay, so if we first try to create this, let us implement functions. Description में let us try implementation. Okay, so if we try to create the function implementation, yeah, so function implementation is hash include iostream, hash include iostream namespace, void intro. Okay, as we wrote it, cout hello everybody semicolon, and then what we do is we write the main function. In the main function what we do is we call the intro function, like intro function को हम बुला रहे हैं कि अब तुम्हारी ज़रूरत है, and then in the end what we do is we do return 0. Fine. Now what we will be getting as the output is hello everybody. Hello everybody will be output here. See, hello everybody मेरी output आ गई. ठीक है, so hello everybody is my output. Now what if we try to understand the concept of function with yet another example? What if we try to understand this with the example of factorials? Then how is it supposed to work? तो factorials कैसे calculate करते हैं? Like what is 3 factorial? 3 factorial is 3 exclamation point, that is 1 into 2 into 3, that is 6. That is how factorials is calculated, right? तो factorials अब हम कैसे calculate करेंगे तो उसको भी हम समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. तो व्हाइट बोर्ड पे नहीं, डायरेक्ट प्रोग्रामिंग में घुसते हैं इसमें. ठीक है, इंक्लूड iostream namespace, and after that what if we hash include iostream using namespace. And now what we have to do is that we have to calculate the factorial. तो factorial के लिए एक फंक्शन जाएगा, तो फैक्टोरियल के लिए जो फंक्शन जाएगा उसको हम लोग कैसे करेंगे? सो व्हाट वी शुड डू इज वी शुड कैलकुलेट द फैक्टोरियल और वी शुड कैलकुलेट द बाइनरी कोएफिशिएंट. फैक्टोरियल ही कैलकुलेट करें क्या? शुड कैलकुलेट द फैक्टोरियल और व्हाट? बाइनरी कोएफिशिएंट विल बिकम अ लिटिल बिट डिफिकल्ट. या सो वी शुड कंटिन्यू विद फैक्टोरियल इटसेल्फ. फैक्टोरियल एग्जांपल नंबर 1. ओके, सो फैक्टोरियल से हम कंटिन्यू करेंगे. तो यहाँ पे अब क्या, जस्ट अ सेकेंड, एग्जाम्पल नंबर 1. सो यहाँ पे क्या होगा कि हम अब फैक्टोरियल कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं, राइट? सो व्हेन वी आर कैलकुलेटिंग अ फैक्टोरियल, what happens is that factorial is of a number will give me a number itself. Okay, so we cannot say that it will be the return type of a function will be void, है ना? क्योंकि तब तो मेरा रिटर्न कुछ आएगा ही नहीं नंबर. अगर मैं 3 का फैक्टोरियल निकालूंगा तो 6 won't be returned because it is a void return type. So that is not what I want. So int fact if I write, and इसके अंदर if I take another argument, तो argument क्या होता है? Now try and understand it here first. See, in this case what we did was that we actually had no argument here, or we can also call it no parameters here. Parameters are variables, or arguments are variables which can be passed inside a function. Variables which can be actually passed inside a function, और उसको हम लोग within the function use कर सकते हैं. But that parameter or that argument has to be declared and initialized inside the main function. समझ में आ रही है बात? कैसे? अभी तुमको समझ में आएगा फैक्टोरियल में, ध्यान से सुनो उसको. लाइक int fact में मैंने int n ले लिया, राइट? तो int n लेने के बाद अब मैं अंदर int fact कैसे कैलकुलेट कर रहा हूँ. फॉर एग्जाम्पल for int I equals to 2, I less than equals n, I plus plus, and fact equals fact into I, right? Fact equals to fact into I. Yes, this is the formula. तो हाँ, तो एंटी f equals to 1 अगर हम यहाँ दे दिए और यहाँ पे हमने दे दिया f equals to f into y because fact is already my function, I cannot use it inside. So f equals to f into y. This is how it is supposed to be calculated. तो ये मेरा हो गया int fact का calculation. This is how my int fact is going about. And then I use my main function. And what do I do inside the main function is that I declare n, I accept n, ठीक है, n has been declared as a function, n has been calculated as a function, and then I call fact. Or what I do is I directly say cout fact of n, ठीक है, and yes, that is what I do. तो अगर अब मुझे 3 का कैलकुलेट करना है, is it running? Is there any error or something? Okay, so that is one of the errors that we have done. कि देखो int fact यहाँ पे है ना, तो यहाँ पे what I have done is what we discussed in case of the whiteboard is that यहाँ पे हमने डिस्कस किया that the return type is void, right? तो रिटर्न टाइप void मतलब होता है कि यहाँ पे कोई आउटपुट ही नहीं आनी है हमें, ये void है, null and void आउटपुट है, it is not supposed to give an output as a function itself. तो इसीलिए यहाँ पे हम कोई रिटर्न टाइप यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं. ओके, बट इन दिस केस व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इज दैट वी आर नॉट यूजिंग void, वी आर यूजिंग int. तो int एज अ फंक्शन हैज टू गिव एन आउटपुट, है ना, तो int एज अ फंक्शन हैज टू गिव एन आउटपुट. तो इसीलिए हमें यहाँ पे जब ये रिटर्न कैलकुलेट हो जाएगा वी हैव टू रिटर्न sorry, not we return, we have to see out the answer and then we have to return 0. 0 क्यों हम रिटर्न कर रहे हैं, यू ऑलरेडी नो. segmentation fault indicator और see out answer is just a helper, ठीक है. and now I actually do not need to give see out fact in because fact in already मेरा कर रहा है काम यहाँ पे. fact 10 I guess should help now. Still we have got some error, answer was not declared. Okay, sorry, see out f 6. So we have already finally got the output 6. Another example ले लेते हैं 5. So what is the factorial of 5? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. 5 4s are 20, 23s are 60, 64s are 240 I think should be. Sorry, 5 का 120 होता है, तो 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. It is okay, right? 24 5s are, yeah, it is completely fine. 120. Maths is going terrible. तो फिर और भी अगर हम देख सकते हैं like what if we do 10 then becomes a bit long, so it will, I guess it might not, yeah 10 भी चलेगा, but when we go beyond or when we go 100 it will give me a bit of an error. Yeah, as you can see it will give me 0 as the output. Now why is it so? Because see 100 की factorial निकालने के लिए ना, when we go to bigger or larger numbers like 100 and so on and so forth, what happens is that the number becomes greater than 10 to the power 18. Okay, now this brings us back to the concept of data modifiers. What we learned in case of data modifiers was that whenever we are dealing with the very large variables like जिनकी storage capacity बहुत ज़्यादा होनी होगी, so we can't deal with normal data types like int and float and double. So in that case what we have to do is we have to use long int in this case. Okay, long int, and what happens is that the output now becomes extra long, so it is now capable of holding larger outputs as well. तो long long int f equals to 1 मैंने अगर यहाँ पे दे दिया and then f equals to f into y हो गया, f less than endl हो गया, it's still 100 की output. You mean see 100 का जो वो होगा factorial, now what is it supposed to be? It has to be 10 to the power 18 या फिर उससे भी बड़ा आ जाएगा, right? And long long int has a capacity of storing only 10 to the power 18 as the digits, है ना? तो in that case long long int won't even work. तो in that case what happens is that हमें floor function यूज करना पड़ेगा. So floor functions में क्या होता है कि जो values होती हैं they come to the next smaller value as we have used. जैसे सीलिंग फंक्शन और फ्लोर फंक्शन होती है. फ्लोर फंक्शन में क्या होता है, लाइक 2.5 और 2.6 comes to the value of 2. We have to go to the nearest value in that case. So that is something which we will be discussing it in some another concept or some another video. In this case, what our basic motive was to discuss what actually functions do, and that is something that we have done. So this is what we call नॉर्मल फंक्शन, और इस फंक्शन को हम देखो यहाँ रीयूज करते हैं फैक्ट इन. अदरवाइज व्हाट आई वुड हैव डन इज दैट इस पोर्शन को, इस एंटायर पोर्शन को अगर हम यहाँ से रिमूव कर दें, वी वुड हैव डायरेक्टली रिटर्न द int मेन फंक्शन एंड देन रिटर्न दिस एंटायर थिंग. Okay, so in this case of program, like for this program, it would look that it would not make any change, like length of program more or less same ही रहता है. But in case of different programs where a single thing has to be reused again and again, it actually proves or it actually seems sensible, because एक चीज को तुम बार बार लिखोगे तो program also looks clumsy and your length of the program also becomes huge, right? तो इसीलिए बड़े प्रोग्राम्स में when you will be going forward, then it will prove to be helpful and it will be sensible as well. So that is something called functions, and I hope that the entire clarity of concept of function is now clear to you guys. और इस फंक्शन के कॉन्सेप्ट पे अब आगे हम प्रोग्राम्स करेंगे ऑन नंबर्स. एंड one last program which I was thinking about discussing is character patterns, like how are you supposed to print character patterns. That is something which we will be doing in the next video, and then we will be going forward with number problems, and after number problems we will move on with data structures and algorithms. So 3 or 4 more videos probably, and then we will start off with the data structures and algorithms, बिकॉज इंट्रोडक्शन हमारी ख़त्म हो गई है अच्छे से, एंड नॉर्मल प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग भी हमने शुरू कर दिया अच्छे से करना. आई होप दैट यू गाइज आर फॉलोइंग दिस सिंपलर प्रॉब्लम्स विच आई एम नॉट डिस्कसिंग इन द सेशंस ऑनलाइन तुम देख सकते हो उनको, और उन सबको साथ साथ करते चलना है. एंड या वी विल बी सून स्टार्टिंग विद डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स एंड एल्गोरिथम्स. So on this note, we are wrapping up this video session, and up until the next time that we meet, don't stop discovering and please don't stop coding. Bye bye.